Hi, everyone. Welcome back to Joy Journeying with Jen. I'm Jen. And this month, as part of my recognition that I am committed to Substack and in a way of celebrating where I've been and celebrating the women I've moved through life with, we're celebrating Fierce Awakenings. Second year anniversary. It was published in September of 2023 on the solstice. And it's a collaborative effort with 12 women and Red Thread Publishing, Red Thread Books, of bringing stories to life about the fierce awakenings we had while walking the spiral path and the courage and the confidence that we needed to greet life, to greet the things life was calling us to see and feel and hear. And even in the most challenging moments, how we showed up for that. And what I'm doing is creating little bits and pieces from each of the authors, going back and showing how those words, when I first read them, still resonate today and how they're still impacting my own life. And I've needed a little bit of space to go through some of that to see it more clearly. And as I said in one of the overview videos, the first video that I did where I take you through a collective journey of the book and how all the stories are interwoven. There's this presence of it all fits together, and we write our stories for ourselves and we publish for readers. But in the end, I'm also becoming an apprentice to my own creations. And I'm becoming an apprentice to the co-authors and their stories. And Roxanna's story has come back to me in multiple ways these last couple of years, and particularly in these last few months, where I've been feeling something that I haven't fully named as grief until just recently, as I choose to let go versions of me that have to die off. And Roxanna's story, Roxy's story, helps me feel that. So just, let me just tell you a little bit about Roxanna Figueroa. Roxanna Figueroa. Sorry about that. See, she is an intuitive sound alchemist, and she weaves together embodiment, functional medicine, Reiki, meditation, and sound practices to help women, to help people on their healing journeys. And Roxy, in a lot of ways, has become an unexpected expert in holding grief. And it's been a journey for her, and I've seen her go through this in different ways and different iterations of that. And the story that she writes in Fierce Awakenings, her chapter is allowing grief and listening for love. And her story is heartbreaking. Her mom is dying, and her mom, some of the story is about sitting in the hospital with her mom, during her mom's transition, and bringing this very sweet connection between a mother and a daughter into the space. And Roxy talks about how she didn't have the most, her relationship with her mother was complicated, as many of our relationships with our parents and our mothers might be. And it's very clear that she's going to be passing away, and Roxy is trying to do all the things that she can do to take care of herself in this moment, while also being present for her mom. And the words that come back to me now are just in this very tender space of watching a loved one passed away. And the way it's impacting me now is very curious. So I'll tell you that. In Roxanna's words, in allowing grief and listening for love. With a lump in my throat and tears streaming down my face, I thought to myself, I never shared my dreams. I kept my heart closed for fear of being hurt again. I'm so sorry, Mama. As I tuned into the lingering sounds of the bowls, I suddenly felt a wave of gratitude wash over me as I realized what a beautiful gift I was giving. Time to say goodbye and help her transition with the healing vibrations of love and sacred sound. With tears continuing to flow down my face, I smiled as my heart filled with abundance of love and gratitude. Today is her birthday. I'm here at the beach, looking at the water, witnessing the curiosity of walking into the ocean and leaving this world. I recognize that this is not an actual desire to die, but rather an opportunity to choose how to live, what to let go of, how to feel, and what next step is mine to take. By embracing my loss, my journey, and my transformation with grief, I recognize now that grief is love. They are intertwined. There's no one way to grieve. We all have our own process. Grief is an opportunity to allow emotions to rise, breathe them in, accept them, and transform them into love. Returning home, stepping into the room with my alchemy bowls, the accumulated grief and loss breaks my heart open and I collapse on the ground, sobbing uncontrollable. Suddenly, through my sobs, I hear my alchemy bowls playing. I fall silent, pushing myself up, tears streaming down, checking to see if I was imagining it. But no, they are singing. The vibrations of my pain and tears were making them sing this vibration of love. And there's a few more sentences there that are really deeply meaningful as she closes out that chapter and her chapter. But this recognition of grief being love, of not knowing how we hold grief, not knowing that it is an expression of love and something that we've lost. We're not taught really how to hold grief. And the way it's coming back for me is, and I've said this in a few of the other reflections that I've posted already, 2024, 2025 has not been an easy year for me personally. There's something happening. I don't see more than a couple steps. What is clear is that I am feeling the loss of identity. I'm feeling the loss of defining myself the way I used to define myself and not being sure of how to define myself next. And when I hear Roxy's words and know the sacred sound that she provides through her alchemy bowls and her crystal bowls, and I can feel that vibration when I read her words in her chapter. And even though she's in the presence of someone she loves dying a physical death, I'm in the emotional space of watching an invisible death. And it's the same feeling. It's the same feeling. So when I think about where we were 2 years ago, I didn't have the presence of grief as much. I have lost people, and I have also lost my mom. And it's always difficult, but it's curious how 2 years on, I'm even more connected to Roxy's story than I was when I first read it. Because what is that? We're dying little deaths every day. And sometimes they're small ones and sometimes they're big ones. Like shedding an identity feels like a really big thing for me right now. And I do want to just drop down to my knees sometimes and cry it out. And I do. I do. I know how to do that now for myself. And I'm not afraid of it. And Roxy's story gives us that strength to be with that emotional wave, to be with wherever we are, and to, well, I guess that's the word, to normalize grief as part of a process. We have to grieve things so that we can create space for something else. We can't hold on forever to the things we love and to the people we love. So Sarah Hoskin is interviewing Roxy as part of our celebration. So I will link that interview as it comes up. And the invitation here is, as it is with each of these, is go ahead, use Fierce Awakenings as a guide for your own awakening, for your own way of stepping in the world, and for your own way of coming to terms with things that are hard to come to terms with. We have a variety of ways of doing that. Some of the co-authors provide prompts and journaling prompts, and others have offered meditations or like a little checklist of things that you can do to come back to your own center. So onwards we go to the spiral path, and stay tuned. There are several more authors coming. I hope you like this journey. It's been really curious for me to do this this way and think about how I'm being an apprentice to my co-authors in this moment. So thanks for journeying with me. I'll see you next time, and may today bring you joy and love. See you soon.